G'day everyone, Uncle Jojo here. Great to see you all again. Thanks for watching. Today we're just going to touch base on treated timbers and we're going to replace an external set of stairs. Treated pine has been around in Australia since about 1930. There's several different types of treating. Originally what it was a dip. We used to dip it in, I think it was boron and arsenic, and it would slowly seep into the timber. They'd let it sit for a bit and then we could use it and it would stay hardy in the Australian climate. Today what we do is we actually inject it into the timbers, and there's several different types of timbers that we use for the treating. We can do hardwoods and stuff, but most of the time it's just a radiata pine that we use for our treatments. The reason that we treat timbers is for two reasons, mainly in Australia. One is to keep the longevity of the timber in place, and the second reason is for the pest control. So we want to keep away the termites or anything that eats into our timbers, borer, woodworm. This is treated pine, radiata treated pine. This is, and you'll notice on this, it's got a green tinge to it. Now, we used to use arsenic, as I said before, but even in, you can really see the colours and you can see how it's penetrated through there. And even the grain here, you can see has actually got a green tinge to it as well. Normal radiata pines are really nice, bright yellow or a whitish yellow colour. When I was doing my apprenticeship, we used to use the treated pine with arsenic in it, and if you didn't use gloves after 2 or 3 days, you'd actually get really pretty sick from it. The new systems they use are pretty good. I'd still suggest to use gloves and things like that. It's always a good idea. So stay tuned. I'll replace these stairs. You can check out these stairs as we go, and you got any questions or queries, you can flick them over. So here we've got our stringer of our staircase. You can see the rot inside each of these. They've been checked in. The staircase themselves have been really well made. The problem is that the timber, this is actually a merbau, and you can see the tracks in here. There's ants that have been eating inside, or a bug of some sort. I'm pretty sure it's an ant that's been eating inside that. Wherever the timber itself has softened up from the water, here you can see perfectly. That's all ant. That's ant track all the way through there. I don't know if you can see that. That's the difference between using a hardy Australian timber. This timber is a merbau. It's still classed as a R2, whereas if you use the exact same one as a Jarrah, which is also a class 2, the difference is that the class 2 Australian timber, the sap in it repels the bugs. Doesn't do it 100%, but it'll do it much better than this. So that's the other reason that we try and use Australian timbers rather than overseas timbers. Just before you start building your stairs, when making stairs or when you're using any timber products, timber in general is a natural product. It will bow and warp. Have a look over here. Run your eye down things, and you can see this timber here. It's got that kick at the ends there, so I wouldn't use that as one of the stringers on the side. You can also look down this way as well, and you can see that it's got a bit of a curve again that way, whereas this one here, I got my eye down that's fairly dead straight, and if I put my eye down that way as well, you can see that that's fairly straight as well. So that would be definitely either one of my stringers. If there is a slight bow going upwards, I can use that also as one of the stringers with a bow facing up, and then the downward pressure will just slowly flatten it out. If there's a straight one, I'd prefer to use a straight one, but if a few of them have bows in them, then I'd use that bow to my advantage. When you have chunks like this on your timber, you don't want them, so that's a downgrade. That should probably where a forklift or something's chucked into it. Get rid of that, use it as the bottom of a stringer or the bottom at the back of one of your treads. Check the ends of your timber, make sure there's no cracks or splits. See, this one's got a split in it. If you've got a split in your timber like that, then come back from the end. This one doesn't have a split. This is why I'm using this for the stringer. And then there's less wastage. The least amount of wastage as possible, the better. it's important that when you are doing your stairs, you go over the position of where the stairs are going to go, and you also double check all your measurements. Here you can see we've got our nose, which is set 27mm back. All of our checkouts, we've double checked all of our measurements. We've mirror imaged, here's the other piece. Here we've mirror imaged these two, so they just sandwich together perfectly, and then we know all the measurements are exactly the same. We'll chisel these out and then we'll stick them in place. Rightio, so here we are, they're all finished off. Everything's been checked in. They've all been slipped in. You saw us arris all of the edges. They've all been batten screwed. Batten screws are a 125 8 gauge screw. We've got our plumb cut, we've got our foot cut. That'll be sitting on the ground there. We've got our plumb cut, so that should be nice and straight. We'll paint these later. We just wanted to paint the backs of these and seal all the timber off. Well, we know it's treated pine, but that does make a difference just to seal your timber. Couple of fixings, finish it off, straight through into our main supports underneath. We chucked in a couple of main supports and there's some old red gum stumps there as well. So we've screwed into those, checked all of our supports, works really well, and A1, how's that? Even beautiful plumb cut, look at that beautiful plumb cut. There you go. Any questions or queries, let us know.